Hello, everybody. How are you all tonight? Okay, we need to bring up our chat, of course. It's one thing that we forgot to do before uh, getting ready to go. Okay, so we're just opening up our chat here, people, and then, of course, we will be sharing this out to all the normal places. The one, the only, the Twitters. Hero. Alright. Uh, Hey, Timothy, how are you? Facebook. We share. We did not share. How are you, Timothy? I know there's not much on the screen at the moment, but there will be momentarily. I'm just sharing this out. If you could do the same, it would be very, very much appreciated. Yes. Okay, there we go. Share it up there. Free, no, nothing at all. No, nothing at all. Not doing anything. I guess that means. I think that was probably to that question. Okay, share it out in the parlors. Share it out on the mines. Hey, weren't you on Gilligan Island? I wish. Oh, you mean, I guess my unintentional first and Howl the third impression. I see weekly character Sunray. Yeah, well, because I have yet to bring down that thumbnail. Let's move our keyboard, because you don't want to see my keyboard, no, eh? You can have gingerbread. I guess I can settle for that. Okay, so there we have that. What a shame, what a shame, what a shame. He's heat based. He's not all on fire like Johnny Storm. I was thinking of Johnny Storm pose for this guy, but I'm not sure. Trying to think what might be a good pose. Hey, Flit, Joshua, you are my sunshine. Oh, I'm my sun ray, my only sun ray. You make me happy when skies are gray. You know what? I think I'm going to use a guardian pose. So how is everyone tonight? I hope everyone is doing good tonight. Go back over. Oh yeah, that's what we've got to do. Watch start up a meet. I will send out the invite. Oh yeah, Google Meet. New meeting. Start. Start on instant meeting. So is this guy half Stingray, half Sun Power? No, he is Sun. He is heat based, and I wouldn't necessarily say Sun Ray. Feeling conversational, Rick. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Okay, let's put that link out for all the warriors to come in. Yeah, that's the ticket. You can spell it with an E or an A, Gray. I don't know where the different origins are, as far as I know anyways. Okay, so there we go, that's there. I said controversial. Oh, you mean controversial or conversational? I think you said conversational. No, he's a stingray with cancer. Controversial. Why are you saying controversial? Why do you think I want to be controversial? Ah, 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 ah. Oh, I like that pose. Yeah. Guardian versus Vindicator. Actually, that's not so much a pose. I guess it is. Okay, so we're going to have to try to put this more eccentric. Okay. Like this. Like a fish here. Hey, sketchbook. No, no, I feel that way. Not much. Just trying to get things set up here for positioning of my character. Get Beastman. Get him Beastman, please. Thank you. So there comes a question. Who has seen the new He-Man, Masters of the Universe? Because it was not He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It was just Masters of the Universe. Chila. I saw George drew him with a skull face. Who? Drew who with a skull face? Oh, Buckler? So who is Sunray? Sunray, well, he was going to be a mutant, but since I've decided no mutants, spiritual powers, he has, I guess, similar to, what's his name? Flame in this case, heat-based powers, but they more manifest as not flames. Tila and a tampon of the universe. He is first seen in the wit. Okay, that's the wrong. I think the Wiz number 4. He's supposed to be in the same one as Match, his first appearance. So I put the wrong number in there. I saw it. Wasn't good. Had lots of stupid characters and story choices. Could have worked, but not in this day and age. Yeah. My biggest beef was with it, and it really ends up stemming. Tila, being the main character of it, obviously, did not act like Tila of either Masters of the Universe series that's been out that was good. Why isn't he called Sunray Heat Ray then? Because sun sounded better, or I thought it did at the time, or I was thinking Sunray, like a beam of Sunray is heat base, Okay, now I also need to bring up, I did not know. Yeah. Comments. Customs. Characters. I just need to bring a picture of him up so I can get his look right. Sunray. Open with photos. I had some interesting ideas, but there's way too much bait and switch. Well, the whole thing, how they were presenting it at first, it's bait. I guess it's bait and switch. And a lot of people thought it. Well, at one point thought it was going to be He-Man, but the title in itself just does say Masters of the Universe and not He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Yeah, I didn't like that character flip of Tila, but she technically isn't the main character. She's the protagonist of the story, which revolves around the end of their universe. Yeah. And I don't like it that it had so many characters die. Like, Mossman was too easily taken out. Why didn't Skeletor think of that like 30 years ago? That whole big fire thing on Mossman. If he was to be taken out that easy. They changed the name after the backlash. Are you sure? I think it was always Masters of the Universe since the beginning. I could be wrong, though. This series. Well, no one could say... Well, no one could have said something about Transformers 86. Netflix ruined a beloved children's property and lied about it. Who could have seen that coming? Better importantly, rage online for a week until the next outrage grift comes along. Yeah, I would agree with you because the live action movies of the Transformers to me were nothing like the original and even all the other iterations, like after Beast Wars, Beast Machines. I don't like a lot of the iterations of Transformers. There's a couple that I don't mind. Yeah, Kevin Smith, the classic Kevin Smith show running, very basic, like child playing with toys, and everything is based in that play session. Yeah, and then unfortunately, he tries to say that he knows something about He-Man, but he doesn't, and then I don't think he did much research after, he realizes, oh, I don't know much. That's what exactly. I saw this coming a mile away. I could see Randor's reaction, but even that, I think, wouldn't have been Randor's reaction. Part of me can see Randor reacting like that, and part of me can't see Randor reacting like that to Man at Arms. And more just because it was his son, because if it was anybody else's son, he wouldn't have reacted like that. I think he could have been reasoned with. The only thing that I did find myself was how low he went on Clownfish. Yeah. I guess he just didn't want it to get out, too early what it was going to be. Okay, I got to work on that leg there. It's weird that all Tila's problems was how her whole beef was with everybody lying about He-Man. Frankly, and she never even got into that. The Queen never lied because the Queen never wasn't supposed to know. The Queen was never told. She figured it out. Which was only a staple of the 2002. I don't believe that was part of the original. I don't think she figured it out in the original, but I could be wrong. I think it was simple. A better angle would have been how hard it would have hit Duncan and Tila, losing her best friend, love interest in one shot. No, not in the original. And it did. That is it. It did seem to be a combination of the two, and I don't mind that. Yeah, she lost her love interest. Um, it never shows her being a lesbian in it, Timothy. Um, Marsupial said he caught some things that indicated that she might be, or you could read it that way. In my watching of it, to me, it didn't show that. She was just very good friends with this person. They had become very good friends. Now, what was Adam's excuse for disappearing every time He-Man shows up? There was different things, different reasons all the time, Joshua. Um, Now, in the original, they had more a bit of the same body type. The 2002, which they fashioned Adam after in this one, was more skinnier and all that. You wouldn't necessarily realize that the two were one and the same easy. There was actually a couple times in the original that Teela suspected that. I think Teela even suspected that he might have been He-Man. Or jokingly said something to the part, right, Timothy? That was the only part, true life. She is like, I will never love again. So now it's time to. uh, no, just queer baiting. She needed this person so much to drop her convictions on multiple occasions, with Andrea not having good reasons for doing so. Uh, you only do that for someone you are intimate with. She lost her love of her life, so she became. Well, right from the beginning, they didn't draw her as sexy as the original. So, She-Man messed. Not yet. Maybe at the end of the next part, Teela becomes She-Ra in this universe. And that's something else. I know, again, because probably legal reasons with the other one going on, uh, there was no mention of She-Ra. And if they were taking it off the original, you would think there would be. And with everybody being so much older in this, you would think Prince Adam would even look a bit older too. That was one problem I had. Teela was worse. Was the worst. Skeletor Joker was. Yeah, it was. That. uh, I like Mark Hamill, but I think that was a poor choice. Too much Joker shone through in that. Plus, freaking Michelle Gellar and the most performers phoned it in, and I'm being nice. Would you like a link, Mom, to come in on the panel? uh, I said on Metal's show that all of Mark's voices is pretty much jokery. Yeah, a lot of them are, but or can be, but this was of the most. The other ones jokerish, right? He should look for a season. He should have looked like a season warrior, even as Adam. And I know sometimes it's hard to get around something like that when you have the same voice actor. Okay, I'll send it to you on Facebook. We did it. Anybody else want the link to come on? Yeah, thank you, Timothy. But technically, they are the tricksters of OG Flash show aired before Batman the Animated Series. I swear. Excuse me. Wowzers, bowsers. Where is my mother? Messenger. Paste. There you go, Mom. It's a shank. So basically, it's a lie. Okay, what's a lie? Okay, what are we talking about? I know what we're talking about, but I've lost myself somehow in trying to get my mom the thing, the new He-Man cartoon. Timothy swearing on himself. Okay. Here comes our guest. Hello, Mother. Who's in the next
Hello.
room? Who I've seen like less than half an hour ago, or just over half an hour ago. Okay, turn YouTube off, Mom.
Okay.
And you don't have to yell, Mother.
Sorry.
Or just mute YouTube.
I already put it down.
Okay. Okay, I'm still hearing myself, Mother. You can't just put it down in the taskbar and it be muted.
No,
You got your headphones in?
Yes.
Okay. She's. Okay, guys. I don't know what's happening, but I'm hearing myself from her still. So I'll be right back. Oh, you got me in the damn. You gotta turn this off. Oh, you did. No, the TV. Well, that's why you should just mute it. Mute it. That way you can still see the jack. She still had YouTube on her TV, so the mic was picking up that when I talked, guys. Okay, so are you there, Mom? Uh, yes, I was helping my mom. Rick got back just in time for Ricky on his mom. His mom's on the tummy show. Mom, are you there? Okay, I can't hear you. Are you talking? Hello, Mother. What are you doing? Okay. Hopefully, if she has any problems, she'll come in.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. What do you think you are, Verizon Wireless?
I hope not.
Oh, we got somebody else.
Not.
Hey, Sketchbook, how are you? Okay, and I think I hear myself through him now. Three call groups have a limit of 1 hour. Upgrade to enjoy group calls for up to 24 hours. Oh, great. Now they're going to be starting to charge for this for more than one person. Learn more. Lovely. Okay, so I get an hour and then I just got to restart it. You there, Sketchbook?
I think we're all here.
Yeah, I see Sketchbook. I just can't hear him.
Hold on, let me switch off my
Oh,
microphone.
oh, I hear you now.
How does this microphone sound? Because I don't know if this one's as good as the other one I have.
Oh, this sounds great. To me, anyways. What do people in the chat think?
Yeah, I watched the Masters of the Universe like in the background when I was finishing off that booster piece I did on the draw along last Thursday.
Yeah.
and I was listening to it, and I would look over every now and again. It was just basic Kevin Smith with like modern day intersectional feminism mixed into it. Not enough to gross you out, but enough to let you know it's there, and it was uncomfortable for a lot of people. They really did a disservice to Tila. Like this would have been fine had they done the Tila from the original Filmation show.
Yeah, or even the Tila from the 2002. You know.
Yeah, they could have even done that one, but they just they wanted to recreate her character. They wanted to make her the new whole thing. But see, I was talking, or I left a comment on, I think his name is Az from Heel versus Babyface, on one of his videos where I was like, I had never known why they changed Grayskull to a black character, because he was originally from the comics. He really didn't even make in the O2. I think he made one appearance, right?
I think a couple. They went, especially when they did the origins of Grayskull and all that.
Well,
And Adam was supposed to be related to him.
my
Now this, I don't
yeah.
think you don't think he
See,
was.
in this one, he's not, um, because Grayskull doesn't kind of acknowledge him as an actual relative. But since he is a POC character now, um, a lot of people are speculating, and I'm one of them, that what's her name, Tila might take over for the sorceress,
Like
and the new
she's.
champion will be Andra, who is somehow actually of Grayskull's lineage.
Well, that could be. Yeah, I could see that happening. Tila was always supposed to take over for the sorceress, as we know. For anybody that watched, that's something that was both in the 2002 and 2003. That daughter, and they even hinted that I think in both, although they said it, at least for the 2002, I know they said Man at Arms wasn't her biological father, but it seemed like he might be.
Hmm.
Yeah, because the soldier's memory didn't have his memory of that time. So could that been a time in Man at Arms history when a blackout for a while that he doesn't remember until
Yeah, I'm not
but
sure.
yeah, I
I
don't
didn't
know,
watch
but
the entire 2002 series. I only watched the first few episodes. That was when I was still in the service, so
yeah.
at certain points I would be like gone for months at a time, so I didn't have time to finish watching all that.
Well, that if you can get a hold of it to watch, I would suggest it is good, way
Yeah,
good.
from what I saw, the very first, I was watching that, and I think it was Transformers Armada. They were both airing back to back on Cartoon Network at the time.
Yeah,
And, but I ended up having to stop watching them, and I think I it was more because I got busy because I was running. I had a comic book business at the time. I was running a not a shop. What do you call? I guess what you would call it. Because I would go to what we call a flea market. It's kind of like a swap meet,
yeah.
and I would order from Diamond, and I was actually selling comics part time at the time, comics and cards and games and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So I didn't have enough time to be watching all the cartoons and stuff that I want. And then I think I that was around the time that my first son was born. So yeah, I was really busy, but
Yeah,
it was really really good.
yeah. The
I
art
remember that it
style,
was really good.
the art style, I would say between the 2002 and this one is about the same.
Yeah,
I actually
I
like
prefer
skip.
the O2 though. The
Yeah.
O2 was a little bit better.
Oh yeah.
It,
Oh,
the
way better.
animation was the animation was actually better too. I hear everybody on all these channels talking about, oh, the animation's fine, it's perfect. I'm like, oh no, it's not. Go back and watch 2002.
Oh,
The
you're
studio that the
you.
studio that did that worked on some animes like shonen animes. They were really good with the action scenes. The the ones here, they're not bad. They are stiff at times, but the thing that irks me the most is when you try to mix in 3D animation with 2D animation and it doesn't come out properly. I
Yeah.
think you should just let it go, because especially with a property like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the it's this is like doing Thundercats. The vehicles take on a life of their own, and for you to make them like, I could have sworn it would look like I was watching. Do you remember that old three CG cartoon reboot? I think it was called.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching that because it was brand new 3D animation back then, and so it was very like early PS2, I guess, graphics, and the motion wasn't very fluid with, especially with the vehicles, and you get the same thing with the vehicles here on the He-Man show. They just don't blend in with the environment, and I'm like a few of them I was even going as far as going, man, that looks like the Aladdin movie in the late 80s, early 90s,
Yeah.
where you could tell that Aladdin is 2D and all the background is rendered in 3D.
To answer Timmy's these questions, the 2002 was not uh, part of the original series at all.
Yeah, no, the studios that did the O2, I think it might be the same studio that did the Thundercats one as well, right? They practically just reinvented the entire storyline.
Well, they didn't reinvent it; they just expounded upon it. I would say, like you never got the origin of Skeletor in the original, so they brung that in.
Yeah.
Um, you never really got the origin of He-Man, which they brung in as well. Which I liked. Um, what else? The characters were all looked a little different, which again I didn't mind. You got an origin of quite a few characters. I think what the only thing I didn't like about the 2002 thing is the way that what they did with Hordak.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I didn't like the original storyline with Hordak and Skeletor to begin with from the Filmation series, where they literally put Hordak above Skeletor.
well that was like supposed to be 20 years ago in the timeline. Now they were equals, if you will.
Well,
Although
yeah,
I couldn't see Skeletor
being
in
as subservient of Hordak.
or Horde Prime, the Horde, especially in modern day. You know,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, I get it. I think the biggest thing I took away from the O2 was specifically about the design was the fact that the O2 actually gave us a young Adam, which is what the original Filmation show kept telling us, but not showing us because He-Man and Adam looked exactly the
uh,
same.
yeah,
It was to me like the Clark Kent and Superman thing. I'm like, yeah, you're about as you know observant as Tila or what's her name, Lois Lane,
yeah,
who can't figure out that the man in front of them is the same person.
yeah. Well, at least Clark and I think Adam did things to try and throw people off. But like I said, I think there was a couple episodes where Tila began to suspect in the original,
Hmm.
but something was done to throw her off or whatever. There's I forget exactly, but we both get it. It's like and I know Clark does a lot of stuff to try and throw people off too. So he slouches, trying to make himself not look as big, and
Yeah,
then he
he also
makes
changes his personality.
yeah
Like he acts very unconfident and like very unassuming. In other words, you don't want to pay attention to him. He won't call attention to himself. Yeah, I that's all good writing.
well, he calls
Personally,
attention to himself in one way: the fact that he presents himself as a little bit clumsy too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Am I getting?
So even Adam, I think, presented himself a little bit clumsy in the original show, if I remember right.
Hmm.
Well,
That's what I remember.
and they were beginning to do that a little bit in the 2002.
I don't remember if it was clumsy or incapable, which is why Tila always gave him, guff about him not being a capable swordsman or warrior or hunter, because
Well,
she was much more capable than he was.
Yeah, well, she studied a lot more. She gave him slack because he always seemed to be trying to slack off and just go sleep somewhere or whatever. You know, he gave off the impression that he was a lot more
One of
um
the things
uh,
in this new
uh,
series that,
uh,
yeah, go ahead.
what's the word? It's something with an A.
Hmm.
Like he just didn't care.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things that I didn't get about this series was I was okay with them giving the man at arms, Duncan retiring, he's older. But wouldn't that mean that Adam was now a capable warrior and should have been animated and designed to look like a capable warrior? Because wasn't Tila originally like his bodyguard?
Yeah, she was she was his bodyguard to a degree, but at the same time, she was in the original series, she was captain of the guard, which you would think captain of the guard and man at arms are two different positions.
Well, yeah, basically the man at arms position is like the commander of the military for the king when the king is not out, because that's one thing. Randor was no longer capable of actually being out on campaigns. That's what Duncan's job was.
Yes, it's to me that's weird because, like I said, she's in the original. She's captain of the guard. Is that just the guard at the palace? Maybe that's just the guard at the palace and not of all the guards.
I think she was the captain of the guard at the palace. I'd have to go back and look at the old shows, but I think that's what it was, and that's why I don't know if it was the king or if it was the queen that asked Tila to look over, look after Adam because she was a very, very capable warrior in the original.
Yeah, yeah, and she was. I think she was maybe 20, somewhere between 20 and 25, and Adam was like a year or two younger. You know,
Hmm.
and he didn't seem to care to want to do the whole military thing. I guess that's why too. Why she would have to be his quote unquote bodyguard.
Yeah.
But even in the 2002 and the original one, he was somewhat of a capable warrior too. He just wasn't as good as Tila. So if he came against like Beastman or
Yeah,
something
because
like
he
that,
was
he would be a
learning.
yeah.
He was learning, and I noticed that because I watched a few episodes of the first season, and you could tell that he was becoming a more capable warrior throughout the time that the show went on. And in fact, wasn't
Yeah,
Tila actually training him? Tila
yeah.
and Man at Arms.
Well, Tila, not so much Man at Arms, I would say. Uh, well, he probably got a little bit of extra training from Man at Arms too, just because of the He-Man thing. You know, just so to help the He-Man part out. For tactics or whatever of thing. Although He-Man seemed to have an innate ability for tactics and all that as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of plot holes in this last one, and it drew on too long for a story that could have been done in maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, this is just. It seems like a giant story arc for one episode. They've expanded the story arc of one episode, or maybe a two-parter,
Hmm.
or maybe even a movie like Secret of the Sword or
Hmm.
Secret of the Sword.
Yeah, which is why I made that comment earlier where I said technically she's not the main character; she's just the uh, the protagonist right now that's moving the story along. But basically, there is no real main character. He-Man has stepped aside for the story arc. Basically, is and the story arc is the end of their universe, but they do focus way too much on Tila and in a property that is just rich with so many characters, something this big could have, if you were going to drag it along, you could have had it affect every aspect of all these characters without having to make one the main protagonist.
Yeah. And to me, the rule. I get the world coming into the room, but I don't think it would affect a lot of people, the kingdom, that much in the way that they seem to think, because they were the kingdom. There was a lot of sorcery in it, or magic, or however you want to say it, but they were as much reliant on their technology, if not a little
Yes.
bit more so. So I don't think for the kingdom itself it would matter so much. I couldn't see everybody trying to go to these fountains to get the magic or whatever.
Yeah, they did a really poor disservice too of like why would they be crowning her or why would they be promoting her to man at arms, having this big old gala while leaving Grayskull undefended? And it's like, was Skeletor like defeated, or they thought they defeated him or something? Again, that's why I equated it to like a child playing with toys, and it's just based on like that play session that they're having. It's just a
Yeah,
quick story, and that's why it doesn't make any sense.
yeah. You know, was it super trash this show? I'll say no, but it wasn't. It didn't feel completely Masters of the Universe-ish. You know,
Hmm.
because they did change the characters dramatically, even before it's revealed that Adam is He-Man.
I was disappointed with the end.
Yes.
Yeah, but as much as I hate Adam getting stabbed or killed like that, you can see Skeletor and have because it's not technically the end; it's the middle of the season, and that's what I'd like to know. When is the next 5 episodes coming out? Because obviously the next 5 episodes are going to be the fact that they're gonna go find, they're gonna defeat Skeletor, and probably end up back at the same point that they were before all this stuff happened, where they're just battling
Yeah,
Skeletor on a week to week basis.
we'll see what happens now too, because according to their own story, if He-Man were to die, he's not gonna go back to, what were they calling it, Preternia?
Yeah, that's something I didn't. Subternia in at least 2002 wasn't their hell, so I'm like, okay, suddenly it's their hell.
Oh yeah, you could thank Kevin Smith for his ever-loving hate of the Catholic Church, that he always writes something like that. That's why the whole time I was giggling while I was listening to it while I was drawing, because it was like, wow, this is just like I was picking it apart, like everything that was Kevin Smithy to me. I'm like, that's from Dogma. This is from Clerks 2. This is from. I'm like, dude, you are a one-trick pony. You need to. What you should be doing is get off of Twitter and go take a writing class, because when even me, who is not a professional writer, can pick apart what you're doing, is it's pretty sad. Especially when it came to Triclops and that whole
The
the
cult.
motherboard. Yeah, the motherboard quote. Man, that made me laugh. I was like,
Yeah,
the memes that are gonna come out of this, they're gonna be hilarious.
that was like, I think, one of the stupidest things that I thought of for this. It's like, yeah, Triclops goes and creates a religion because
Yeah,
Skeletor's gone.
yeah. Triclops, the one that had no leadership skills, the one that like no one would have followed, and was even kind of hated by some of the other villains. I didn't get that at all either. Um, but what I didn't understand, because I know you know more about the original Filmation series than I do, and definitely the O2 version, was Beastman ever that smitten with Evil Lyn? I don't remember that at all.
Um, Probably yes and no. I think it's not so much him being in this one, him being smitten with evil Lynn. I think it's as you said, he wouldn't have been a fan of Trapjaw and Skeletor, so he's not going to follow, uh, Trapjaw.
Triclops.
Yeah, Triclops. Either one, both of them were there. He wasn't a fan of either, so I can't see. It's just he can't. He's not going to follow those two dweebs. you know,
Hmm.
you know, fall under them. He'd probably, they're the two people that you would think would take up Skeletor's mantle is either Beastman or Evil Lyn. You know,
Yeah.
I I can't even see Evil Lyn running the whatchamacallit, the cult, but I can see her taking up Skeletor's mantle of evil because she tried to betray him several times in both series. So I can see her easily trying to, be the next Skeletor.
Yeah, and the ending didn't make sense to me where she just like turned sides after she had all that, you know,
Yeah,
disdain towards Skeletor. But more importantly, wouldn't she be worried that Skeletor is pretty much gonna be done with her because he was in her wand and could actually hear what she was saying and like probably would be really angry with her because she was blaming everything on him.
yeah, you would think so, but like,
I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. But then again, I'm not trying to find logic where there shouldn't be. This is
well,
a
we're
show
we're, we're trying to
about
find a
magic,
little logic, but we shouldn't be surprised when there is none.
right? But I'm not saddened. I'm just like Netflix really could have done something good here, like because they really messed up with the Shira. Not not that I didn't
Although,
see it coming from a mile away, but they they could have done. I mean, if you take the O2 of Thundercats, you take or the early 2000s of Thundercats, the early 2000s of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, they kept it general audience, and it almost resurged that property. Now on Netflix, it would have done it. You don't need to go metal and hardcore, as
yeah,
Kevin Smith was saying. You just need to do a property similar to the one that was hitting in the 80s, but where you can grab a variety, a bigger audience now, where you could present it to kids nowadays, but also to the adults.
yeah,
And it's not very hard. It's just you have to care.
yeah,
And to me, the one that is going to take the biggest hit from this isn't even Netflix. I mean, if you saw that statement, they have over 200 million subscribers according to them, and don't care if 5 or 10,000 of them are really angry.
yeah,
Um, but Mattel, Mattel is like Hasbro. They're like hanging on by a thread. This is supposed to revitalize the toy line for them.
yeah.
They might do that.
Toys have really gone down in the last, 20 years, 30 years. And as for Timothy, yeah, I did answer your question. The 2002 one has nothing except for names, and actually, I think they did a lot better designs on a lot of the characters. Uh, it is completely is not in the same continuum. They're two different Eternias, part of a multiverse, if you will.
Yeah,
that
I love the sword design from the 2002,
yeah,
especially on the figure because it would open and the hilt would become like four-way protection.
yeah,
I remember that. And Skeletor's sword broke into two, and you could have two blades, two single-sided blades out of one
yeah. And
different blade.
that was something that they originally were going to do in the original, have two different blades, as because at least with the figures at first, Skeletor's and He-Man's sword
Was
connected to
half and
make,
half. Yeah,
yeah, connected to be one.
yeah. I saw the. I think it's called Power of Grayskull, where they did the whole documentary behind the cartoon show and the toy line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they talked about that. And it's
Uh,
funny because I think the toy line actually was made in the 70s, the late 70s.
Yeah, or the figures they just had to redo heads and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because they were originally I think a Conan line or a Barbarian line, and they
Yeah,
brought in two guys that each of them believed that they created He-Man, which made me laugh.
yeah.
The thing that
A
was kind of
good show too on Netflix is the Toys That Made Us. They do a
oh yeah,
good
I've
thing.
seen every episode of that.
I
I've
haven't
seen
seen
every episode of that.
there's the newer ones I haven't seen.
Yeah,
I think I got season 2 or season 3.
because I
Uh,
used to own a lot of Ninja Turtle toys, and
yeah,
when they got to the turtles, I was just like having a ball just watching that,
yeah,
remembering half of the toys that I used to have. The Transformers, I know people like to argue with me. I have friends, in real life that like to argue with me. But even if you watch the toys that
made
made
us.
us, you can see. I always argue Transformers are an American property, and they're like, no, well, they're originally a Japanese toy. I go, yes, the toys were, but the toys were not popular worldwide until Marvel came up with the
No,
the
no, it wasn't.
storyline for it. Yes, it was
Well,
Marvel.
was
It
it
was the
more?
comic books, Marvel Comics. It was actually an intern that later on became a very good artist for them and an editor.
Well, yeah, they got somebody from Marvel to do a bunch of stuff, but it wasn't Marvel. I'm not sure whether it was Marvel. It's to do the backs and all that, create stuff. But with the Toys That Made Us, they were coming up with a lot of their, well, maybe not their own stuff, but not. It was separate from. They got a Marvel artist or writer or whatever, but it was separate from
Well,
Marvel.
yeah, I
This
mean,
is
it was something that Marvel used to do back then in the
yeah,
80s and in the 70s, which was do backgrounds for like toys and stuff that weren't comics. But the comics came like a year later,
yeah,
and it was still the same guy excuse me, who originally created the storyline,
yeah. Although
which is why.
the storyline in the comics is a little different than in the cartoon.
Oh yeah, yeah. I always go by the popular or the most popular part of the IP is to me what makes the IP. Like
Yeah,
I know a lot of comic book fans would probably hate to hear this, but like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, without the cartoon, the IP is just another independent comic book,
yeah,
and it's not gonna do as big as it became a worldwide phenomenon due to the cartoon, due to the fact that the cartoon was really well received and the IP moved into video games, into movies, and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I liked the first movie, which led me to want to look at the comics.
yeah,
But again, it's like the same way I say about the Transformers. I believe it more to be an American property because
yeah,
it's there were six different Japanese toy lines and backstory. Was American, yeah, Timothy. That's what I mean. If it wasn't for that American writer that created the Transformers, we would not have the Transformers or the
yeah,
Cybertronian stuff that we have today.
yeah.
And in fact,
Well. I guess what it is, there was some person at Hasbro, I think, that came along and decided to join all these things and have them. Well, I think the toy lines transform, but they decided to take them and put them together to do something. So if it wasn't for Hasbro owned it. They just subcontracted a Marvel artist or writer to do stuff for them. That's why I would say it's Hasbro, not Marvel.
oh no, no, yes, yes, TMNT was around for 3 years in the comic book scene, which again most comic book people won't like to hear, but it is a very niche market. It was that one guy that buys IPs that markets them around. He's the one that is more responsible for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' success than the comic book is,
Yeah,
because from him we get the cartoon, and from the cartoon we get the massive worldwide appeal of
yeah. Also,
brand.
I don't know too much about the comics. I've got a few Archie versions, but the ones before him when it was independent and black and white and they didn't have the colored headbands. I could be wrong, but I think the cartoon started giving them their personalities.
Yes.
which is what probably sold it the most.
Writer? What writer, Timothy? But yeah, the I mean, I like both properties, and
Yeah.
the writer that wrote the Transformers, or the guy that marketed the Ninja Turtles.
Well, he might be saying writer, not artist, for um, the.
Oh, oh yeah, I didn't get to chime in on that much, but I'm definitely for the writer. By the way, Timothy, without the writer, you don't have something that can appeal to uh, an audience that will keep coming back. Um, because you can only go so far, especially if you're a fan of art. You can only buy so many issues of a book just because the pictures are pretty, And I like art. I'm an artist myself. I'm an amateur artist, but
Uh,
without proper motivation, an artist can be lost, and without writing, an audience will be lost.
I think they're both equally important because without the artist, all you have is a novel. And yeah, novels sell. Sure, the writer can go and do that. But if you're dealing in the comic medium, you need an artist to make it look good.
Actually, Timothy, Kevin Eastman, and Peter Laird. I believe Eastman sold his half to Peter Laird, and Peter Laird just a few years ago sold the entire property to Nickelodeon. So neither Eastman or Laird own anything to do with the TMNT.
Yeah.
They are paid to take care of it and to help writers create stuff for Nickelodeon, whether it be games or stories or comics. They're allowed to do the comics as well. They have stuff like clause in that contract, but they don't own the actual IP. Oh, okay. Let me look them up, Timothy, and I'll find out who created the backstory for Transformers. If not, if you have Netflix, watch the Toys That Made Us. They mention his name on the Transformers episode, which is I believe in the first season.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You
think
should watch that
those.
anyway. It's good. I watched the entire thing, especially the Hello Kitty one. I didn't even know Hello Kitty was that famous worldwide.
I
Like
think
that is
I.
the number one selling toy of all time. I didn't even know that.
I think. Well, I'm not sure whether I knew that, but I knew Hello Kitty was fairly famous. I haven't watched that episode. I'll admit,
Oh,
I only watched the episodes of that I would be
that you were
interested.
interested in? No, I mean, like I said, I used to have a comic book stand that I would put up at a flea market, and I was like interested in a lot of this stuff. So, I mean, yeah, back in the day, I should have gotten into Hello Kitty. I didn't know that. Could have sold a lot of that stuff.
Although, let's see. I did watch the Barbie one.
I watched
although
that one was actually fairly good. The Barbie one and the My Little Pony one was kind of funny how that came to be too.
I don't think I watched the My Little Pony, but then again, that might have been season 3 or 4. I'm not sure how many seasons they got of that. That
I think it's
that
only 2 seasons.
no, they've had 3 or 4 seasons because I watched the first two, and there's other ones that aren't in those seasons that I've heard about. So
They have their own wine. I, I don't know who that is, but getting back to what Rick was saying, if you have a writer and a artist that's 50-50, then you can have a profitable book. But if you have a writer, sorry, an artist that's 75-25, like your artist is 75% better than you know than your writer, your book's only going to be successful for so long. It- yeah, you may sell some copies, like because eventually most artists go into just doing covers later on because they don't want to do the sequential art. But if you have a writer That's 75% of the actual sale of the book, and while the artist is 25%, you can have a successful book for years because they, even though the art may be a bit stagnant or change from time to time, the writing is still going to be solid, and people are going to keep coming back because they want to enjoy that story.
What says so much about me, Timothy? Now it's just getting his hand right.
So yes, they are both important, but again, one can be successful. A book can be successful with a lesser version of one, but not a lesser version of the other. I actually went and like kind of did some homework because I didn't want to just be a scholar in ignorance, and I was thinking about how some art is very stylized, and then some art is just basic and stuff like that. But when it comes to like the writers, people pick it up. It's like, because I know this guy writes fairly well, and I'm interested in what kind of story, or this person writes fairly well, and I'm interested in what kind of story that they want to present. The art may come secondary. Barbie, Rick, you like Barbie?
I never said I liked Barbie. Never said I liked Barbie. I thought it'd be interesting to hear the history of Barbie because, well, I thought Barbie would have been like more bigger than Hello Kitty, but you know,
Rick, did you have action figures with combable hair growing up?
no. Although,
I did.
yes, well, you grew up 2 centuries before all of us,
In a
so.
different era.
but, but, uh, the thing is, my dad's main friend, one of his best friends,
Mm-hmm.
during that time, had all girls. So when I went over to their place, and they were right around my age.
Okay, Rick. Is that your story and you're sticking to it?
Hey, my mom can tell you I did not have any Barbies of my own. I had just
Even mine were gone.
I just had action figures. I had Transformers. I had He-Man, GI Joe. What else did I have? All the major, a bunch of stuff. I didn't. Well, I didn't have any Thundercats.
So, what is
Still do have a lot of them.
Rick? What is this? Sunray, I think this is called. What is his powers?
Heat based. Here I do have a file up. How do they work? Doo-doo-doo. Sunray can generate a heat shield to protect himself and others. He can fly and shoot solar heat beams from hands and eyes. Also has above average strength and very little hand-to-hand combat training.
So he's Superman.
No, not even close. I said he has above average. Superman has way above average, and I wouldn't know what. Well, the heat shield was probably can be a little bit more. It probably wouldn't be that super protection. Almost, you might say a male version of Firestar,
Mm-hmm.
maybe with a little bit of tweaks from the X-Men. Uh, James was born to what I have here. James was born to for history. James was born to nondescript parents and was I'm not sure what I mean by that. I guess just, nothing out of the ordinary. And was raised with good morals of right and wrong. In his late teens, he gets saved. After completing education, he gets a job as a traveling salesman. One evening after work, while having daily devotions, he believed God speaks to him, telling him that he has been given heat-based powers. Okay, maybe so he's not necessarily mutant, or I thought he was. After taking the idea in, he goes outside to explore these powers. Uh, to which he had. My grammar's bad. I gotta go over a bunch of these. I'm sorry. Go over. Over the next few weeks, he discovers his powers and explores them. One afternoon, in the middle of a company business meeting, a receptionist burst into the room with a random note from people who had kidnapped the children of the top execs who happens to be a friend of James. The man quickly closes the meeting. James pulls the man aside to ask to see the note. James then slips out and gets a makeshift costume. When the drop is being made unknown to anyone, James is hiding out of sight. After the kidnappers grab the money, he takes flight and follows them from the sky to their hideout. Once there, he bursts in, subduing the kidnappers and rescuing the children. Later, when the children are asked about the rescue, they say a Sunray man rescued them, as his heat beams look like a ray of sunshine. With this, James decides to call himself Sunray.
So he's a hero.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was a villain.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying because of the covering of his face, the mask, that it looks kind of like an executioner style. So I was
Yeah.
thinking he was a villain.
I was just trying to create wrinkles or some texture in the mask there.
No. I mean, I'm talking about the top, the way it drapes down from his nose.
Yeah. Well, even that's a mask too.
Oh no, yeah.
The whole thing is masked. There's a whole mask over his head. I was just trying to do almost a flame type thing, although it's not flame there. I'm just trying to do. I was doing these sharp angles.
You gonna be on DNQFE this Thursday?
Probably. I don't know enough about Supernatural to
Oh,
do
that's
it.
right. What am I gonna do with my Thursday? I don't care for Supernatural.
Well, you can remember at 7 o'clock Eastern. I will be on, or hopefully I'll be on Odyssey. I had problems this week, and so I got like about 10 minutes done, and my internet kept cropping out. So
Hey, we got 2 more people watching.
Cool.
Drop a like and share the stream. I don't know how much longer Rick's gonna stream.
Yeah. Well, technically, I'm not sure. Well, these are supposed to be till Well, I want to usually get the drawing done, and then depending on how we're doing, whether people are here and talking or not, depends on how much further I go on beyond that. And then, but
Yes, for a like, and we lost the watcher. I'm gonna be quiet now.
well, a good thing is since I've taken my break pretty much for the last 2 months, I have not had one dislike on my videos. Now somebody's going to go and put a dislike just to spite me.
Just to mess with me. It's still engagement, though, whether they like it or not. It's still engagement.
Well, it can't.
Unwanted fella there.
You're
not very environmentally safe, Rick. Why were you? He can't share your page. The fly, Rick.
yeah, I figured that's what you're talking about.
Hey, Josh.
But then
Okay.
again, depending on the stupidity, thanks to the stupidity of Google Meets, um, I'm not sure how it's going to work now. I might have to be creating, depending on when people come on, I might have to create, or I might have to just go through OBS, or not OBS, um, Discord, because when you came in, I got a message that I hadn't gotten before about for thing. Now apparently, when you get 3 or more people in, you can only do an hour
What?
here in Google Meets.
So so how about if you kick out all the way to under 3 people, and then you bring them back in after about a few minutes?
I don't know. Like I said, this is the first time it said something to
I
me about this, so it's
I've
like,
never heard that. Is it trying to get you to like pay a
yeah,
subscription fee?
yeah. It's because for $8 a month, I guess that's US. You can do a 24 um, hour stream with 3+ thing. Like if it was just me and my mom in here, it wouldn't have a problem. We could go as long as we want. But suddenly, you
You
know,
could ask me to leave nicely, Rick. You know.
no, no, no. I'm not asking anybody to leave. I just, hey, in some ways, I want to find out what happens. Like, okay, I have to create a new meeting. Can I get people back in without, what happens? I want to test this at this point now to find out what it is, what the constraints are, whether they'll let you create a new meeting right away and get the same people back in or not. Because that I was liking Meet, but if they're gonna do that, I'll probably just bring everybody in via Discord. I've set up a live room before, so for stuff like this, general watching stuff or the on air one, and say anybody wants to come on, go to my thing on air. You
I'll
know,
bow out if it means you can stay on longer.
just well, first of all, that hour thing wouldn't have started till about 7:30 something. So don't worry about it. And like I said, I want to find out what goes on, Mom. So
You're kind of curious. I'm kind of curious now. Hey, Timothy, I put the name of the guy that originally created the concept of the Transformers for the toy line, and then eventually for what we know as the cartoon. Well, Google doesn't have access to any of your like bank accounts or your PayPal or nothing like that, do they?
no, no. Obviously, they're not going to just do the
This
subscription.
this is Google you're talking about. There's a reason why they used to have the term "scroogled" because
uh,
they sell your info and they would take your money at any opportunity.
and it's not like $8 a month is actually that bad. Well, it's probably more like $10 a month for me, with the exchange rate. But
Well, it wouldn't be too bad if you were still streaming the way you used to,
yeah,
because you had constant streams, 2 per day, and then the ones on the weekend.
yeah,
Believe it or not, I miss that.
Yeah, I do too. I
yeah.
was thinking about that today. I was like, I haven't talked to like Metal and Marsupio as much because I'll talk to them on Twitter from time to time or tweet at them, or I'll even tweet at you and Dillard. But it seems like everybody's just spread out. I'll catch the vomitorium from time to time, but
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe September I might bring back High Noon for 2 days a week and still do this my 7 o'clock show. 2 days a week. So I'm thinking of maybe September going Monday and Fridays for high noon,
Hmm.
and then Tuesdays have this. It's also I began running out of stuff to do. So I'm coming on and I don't know what the heaven to do. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thursday, I'll find out whether my schedule is going to be open or whether I can go back to work or not.
Uh,
'Cause that's my appointment with the cardiologist to find out what's wrong with me.
if they know.
Say that again.
If they know. If they figured it out.
Well, hopefully. If not, it's going to be more tests. They've already told me to start the paperwork to ask for medical leave from my job. So, but I want to start producing some videos. The only thing is I'm kind of using my savings to get me by. So
Uh,
that's why I started drawing on some of the D and QFEs.
well, how well do you think you could do Snowdrift? Or the question is, what would you charge for page rate? Well, you
I'm not that
don't.
comfortable to do a whole book yet, but I mean, I could do a cover and I wouldn't charge you anything right now.
No.
You're gonna pay me in exposure, like all the other comic book artists that get paid in exposure.
Well, if you felt comfortable enough doing, some pages and low enough page
Snowdrift is
rate.
one that I think Snowdrift is one of your more popular characters. I always see people mentioning Snowdrift in the chat. Isn't
Yeah,
that that
this
assassin with the ice powers?
well, that's what they're trying to make her, but she's not an assassin. But yeah, well, I've been trying to beef her up because in my next campaign I'm gonna have two books. I'm gonna have the Canadian Shield #2 and Snowdrift #1, and I'm I'm trying to find another artist to do it. Hopefully cheap. Well, cheap because that's all I can afford. And that's because my artist that's doing the Canadian Shield #2 he's good, but he takes a long time. And I would like to try and have this out sometime early next year.
Have you ever looked into those? I don't know what they're called. They're the websites that do like print on demand.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking before I knew got into the whole crowdfunding. I had looked into that sort of thing,
Hmm.
and I was probably gonna go something around that route, or I'm not sure what I was gonna do. But obviously got into Comicscape, or even before that, just before I got into Comicsgate, or just around the time I found out about crowdfunding comics, because I did a small crowdfunding that didn't get anywhere, and my prices were pathetic.
A
By
notice just come up on my computer that I only have 5 more minutes.
okay,
Where are you seeing that exist?
Uh,
well, because you came in,
a new box appeared.
probably because she came in after or before you,
Yeah.
she probably have less time than you.
Hmm.
We'll see what happens. Well, then again,
Says 4 minutes now.
yeah. Well, we'll find out what
Your
happens.
call ends in 4 minutes. Free group calling. You have the limit of 1 hour.
Oh yeah. In what you would call it, in the meat on the bottom right hand corner, there's a little
Hmm.
alarm clock
Yeah.
that
Click on it.
yeah, and it'll show you that. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah. Yeah, that's right. So can't you do it through like Discord?
yeah, I
I know a
can.
lot of people have problems, but I don't even have Discord on this computer.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out in a couple minutes. Like when that goes thing, I'll probably put another link in thing. I'll give my mom the link on whatchamacallit, Facebook, and I'll put the link in thing and see whether we can do another meet. And
What, Facebook?
yeah, it'll probably be a minute or two that I can send that link out to you just to see what happens. And if we can't do it, then I'll probably end up ending the show there. See what happens with a new thing. That it's hey, best time to find out is right away, right? And not some other time. Um, what were we saying before my mom brought that up? Yeah.
About the comic book.
Yeah, you were saying something about a site or something like that.
About print on demand.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I was saying about having done a Kickstarter because I had registered at like 4 different whatchamacallit conventions, and I didn't have the money to get there and didn't have my comic. I wanted to print up my comic book because I had the original version that I had, which I went and redid, as most people know. And I was trying to crowdfund getting some money to print it up to go to that one of those conventions and all that. And well, that didn't work, and my price points were way too high. So, and that was over on Kickstarter because I didn't know about Indiegogo yet, and that was before I had a following either. So,
I think you should like. Well, I don't know. I don't like supernatural. I don't like a lot of stories like that no more. Since I
yeah.
started going to church years ago, but
Yeah, oh, well, I like, now that I don't have Thursday
I,
nights, I might start going on D&Q a little bit more often, Fan Edition.
yeah, that's good.
I'm
That's
not
good.
into
But
it either.
I figured this week's, I don't know enough about the subject matter to really draw. The call is about to end. Okay, so we probably got our 30-second countdown or less here. Well, this call is supposed to end. The show's not about to end, guys. So we'll find out whether this reworks in about 2 or 5 minutes. You guys there? Return to home screen. Here's a link to the meeting. I don't want a link to meeting. I want to start a new meeting. Let's grab that. Let's go over to here. Where's my Twitter right there? Paste there, and then Facebook. I just sent you the link, Mom! Sorry, anybody if they're listening on headphones. Okay, so my mom is back. You were muted. Oh,
I'm back.
yeah, you're back. Um, okay.
Any sketchbook coming back?
I don't know. You don't have to yell, Mom. Just talk normally.
Sorry. Sorry.
I put the link in thing sketchbook in the Warriors. If you want to click it, see whether it'll allow you back in. It dropped us all at that point, that hour mark. So I just want to find out whether this works. We'll probably talk for a couple more minutes. Okay. So it let us back in. Everyone,
Okay, I'm
whiteboard
back in.
A. Okay.
How loud is my mic?
Good.
Okay.
Okay, we're all back.
Yeah, I forgot. I actually muted
The
the
stream.
tab that you were on. So I was over here saying, "Hi, it dropped me and laughing," and I'm like, "Oh, even if he responds, I can't hear him." I'm actually trying to set up my Discord right now, and it's not going very well.
Okay, so it looks like all I have to do is reset up uh, a meet, and it let me go on. Now I don't know whether it's gonna take any money or not, and I don't see that. Well, the alarm clock's not there. It didn't say anything about thing, but we could assume that you would just get another hour with a new meeting. But at least it'll let you set up a new meeting right away. But that'll be a pain, so I might I might just end up doing Discord. My mom's got Discord on her computer, so
Yeah, I'm setting mine up, but I gotta verify
yeah,
my email. So Discord's being very lazy. I gave them the right email. It's because I have another one, but it's a different name, and I'm trying to keep it with the same name
yeah.
because
I think
that'll.
I got to do the same thing. I never let it totally load.
Is it Cross Comics on Discord?
Yeah, yeah. I think you're in the group, aren't you? Hey Timothy, what I missed? We had to create a new meet because meet, unless you're paying like $8 a month, only allows you to do a meeting for an hour at a time. Okay, so do you need a link to? I'm not seeing you here on the side.
No, no, no. I don't think I've ever joined.
Uh-huh. Well, there is a link in my thing for joining in the description of of the stream.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Mm,
Ah, there we go. Sketchbook is now in Discord. Cool. That means I've got what 62 people, including myself, in my Discord.
Note Metal.
Let's see. We're going to Rolls. What are we going to give him?
Oh, it's hilarious.
You've just been promoted. I trust you.
What did you promote me to?
You are
I'm
now.
new to this, so.
You're.
Oh, I'm on a heroes list.
Yeah. Well, my moderator stuff, I have it. Okay, there's just general, and then I have A list heroes, B list heroes, C list heroes, D list heroes, and so I gave you A list hero statting, so you can.
I'll set mine up later.
Yeah, well, I'll help you do that. That basically you can do any administration stuff. If people
Hmm.
get out of hand, I do my rules up there.
Did you have Bianca on here?
Yeah, Bianca fights the zombies. She's in here.
Yeah, videos crack me up. Can't watch them at work though. I never got it.
Never
So
got.
we were. Oh no, I never got the email to verify my email, to verify my account to
Uh,
Discord. It's gonna be one of those that takes forever.
yeah, I hate it when. Oh yeah, we want you to verify that this account, but we're gonna take a day to send this to you.
What did I miss, guys? Use that to pick up chicks. You can use what to pick up chicks?
Discord or
Oh,
the
I'm glad
hour.
I joined then, because that's where all the chicks are at. Then I'm glad I joined. Uh, Timothy asked, "What did he miss?" Me and King's Kid getting booted out of the call. Actually, you did too, right, Rick?
Yeah, it just ended the call to all of us. So it
Yes,
does.
Timothy. That's how I roll. I was born an A-lister. I'm gonna die an A-lister.
Sketchbook, just call me Linda.
Okay.
Could have said that nicer, Mo.
No, that's fine.
I'm teasing her,
It's
sketch.
direct and to the point.
Yeah, but I'm just teasing her, and she knows it.
Did you see that piece for Melvin that Dillard did?
Yeah, I've actually I did it, and I started coloring it. But since he seemed to have colored it, and that's what Timothy's going with, I stopped coloring my version.
You should finish it. That should this should only inspire you to be better. It did to
Yeah.
me. I'm like, oh, I gotta get to drawing. After I saw that, I'm like, I gotta get to drawing. Dillard's gonna leave everybody in the dust.
No,
I
this is
still remember the first time I saw Dillard was on. In fact, I didn't even know about Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition yet. I was only watching. I was on Mike's chat, and I used to watch Drawn and Quartered. And the first time I saw Dillard was when he won the first one,
yeah,
and
which was about
I
the
gave
third one, I think.
so much guff to Mike for that, and to all the pros, especially Malin. Oh man, did I drag Malin through the mud? Every show after Dillard wasn't on there, I was like, yeah, but you got beat by John Dillard, who technically isn't a pro, right? And man, he used to get mad at me. But then that's when I followed Dillard, found out about the fan edition, and started watching the fan edition. Started messing with Booster and Chester, and yeah, that's how I met you. That's I first saw you when I jumped over to watch the fan edition. That's where I met you for the first time.
Wow,
Then
cool.
I didn't have your channel right away.
Yeah.
I think it's when I stopped watching Mike's channel because Mike used to. Oh man, he used to stream constantly, so I didn't
Yeah.
have time for anything else.
Uh, and
That's nice.
I
uh,
still watch Mike from time to time.
Oh, I love Brother Mike. I don't agree with everything he says. Let me phrase that. I don't agree
Neither
with
do
most
I,
things he
but
says,
I
but I
like
love him.
his I like his biblical show.
yeah.
Cross
Uh,
That's what I
examination.
tune in. Yeah.
yeah.
I remember when he first started it, it was fairly good when he started it. Then it started to wax and wane
Yeah.
for me, and I'm like, I
Starts
think,
getting into the political and the Bitcoin and that,
and
which I'm not interested in.
well, it just started getting on topics other than biblical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be the hour where we could discuss scripture and stuff like that. So I was like, no. But I mean, that wasn't the problem. It was when him and EDS had that big old kerfuffle and all the stuff that I wasn't agreeing with a lot of stuff that he was doing and putting on Twitter. And so I kept him on Twitter, but I stopped watching his streams. And then I eventually unsubbed from him for a good while.
Oh,
No, I
I'm
just
not
didn't.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Twitter. A lot of people have a problem with Twitter. If
I
you
can't get on Twitter.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's just because I think my account, because the phone number
Mallet, what's up, Mallet?
and hello, Mallet. No, and no, this isn't question time with Linda. She's starting to come on a little bit more. Uh, which one?
Timothy, tell him he needs to finish coloring this.
Yeah, I will eventually. I might. I've just been getting doing it. Obviously, yeah, this isn't finished colored, but I just in some ways it's I'm getting it in a lot tight on the
Rick
thing.
goes, Rick, do you owe Mallet Bitcoin?
No, I don't know about mallet or anything. Yeah, there's still a few things I have to go and like get in here, erase the extra color that's bleed over, and then I'm gonna be probably starting my shading and lighting on it. Because I was asking and I asked Timothy a whole bunch of questions for you know what's exactly happening, lighting and all that. So you know that way I knew that if the bottom skulls here were supposed to be darker or not.
Yeah, I don't know. That that would be cool, Timothy, but I don't know what Dillard would have to say about that.
Well, Dillard knows I'm color or knew I was coloring this because he in his one thing he put out about possibly other people coloring it, and then he went.
Ah, I didn't know that. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now.
And I said I would color it, and then I grabbed it, and actually I went to color. I grabbed the line art that he had originally thing, and then he put out a link to his coloring for the flats. He did some flats for it, and I went and grabbed that, so I had to restart a lot of my coloring from that. It was like, dang.
The I think it was a few years ago. That's the first time I heard the people use the term flats.
Yeah.
Like back when I was in art class in high school, we never called it flats. Our teacher always called it your base colors or your foundational colors. It's like if you were gonna paint something, you would put first you would lay down like a level of oil paint or acrylic, like all white or a slight a tone like a hue on the
Well,
canvas, and then you your image once you would draw it on there, you would actually just do like your basic foundational colors. That's the way, and I was like flats, flats. It took me a while to find out what people were talking about.
yeah. When well, like I said, it was a few years ago. I just heard about flats too, and a lot of times people just color insane colors that it's not supposed to be the things, just on the different things that are supposed to be one color. Like Dillard made Melvin orange at first in his flats. It's like okay. So
Yeah,
and
Dillard is one of those painters that you can't go based off of his flats, like because he mixes the colors so well. I learned that just by the way he did the reflection using different colors on the mask.
yeah,
That's why I was like, man. That's why I
and
made that comment on Twitter. I was like, yeah, this is like the number one, arguably the number one independent artist right now is Dillard.
because
You guys need to be hiring him for your
when
books.
when he first when this first came out, there was a line right here that went all the way across, and it made this area look like a glove, especially with all these things. And then
Yeah,
like I teased Dillard about that and said, Dillard, this looks like a glove here. Is this supposed to be a glove or not? Because Melvin has been drawn with gloves on. So like, okay, if that's the glove line there, where are the and he has fingerless gloves. So where are the lines for the fingerless gloves? So it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do here?
yeah. Yeah, Tim. I When I started getting into like the independent scene, looking at the comic book artists, to me it was Donald DeLay was really high, and then to me he was kind of dethroned by Rob Willis, and then it was just like neck and neck, Dillard and Willis. But when I started to see the way that Dillard is like a full rounded artist, he can do pretty much anything, and he can do multi mediums, and I haven't seen that from Rob. So to me, I would say after seeing this piece when he posted it on Twitter, I'm like, yeah, no, now he's leaving people in the dirt now, like way behind,
Yeah.
which is good. I mean, I, I think he is worth every penny, and I would say that Dillard would be that exception where you got an artist that's like 75 or 85% better than the writer. That book will sell. Just needs to have somebody know how to sell it, like advertise it, because he has the artwork that you're gonna be in a local comic book store. You're gonna be shopping on Indiegogo or Amazon, or like what I recently found out is the Amazon the Kindle publishing, independent publishing. Like you could do directly to the Kindle. I'm like, that's pretty good, because I've been looking at some freelance artists, and because that's kind of like my retirement goal.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, man. I would think like, man, someone like Dillard could like make some serious bank, like doing coloring books, just of his art.
Yeah.
Oh man, the Nine Inch Nails. I don't know. Trent Reznor is a great producer, but I don't know about a singer. I Who would I put him? The Nine Inch Nails of Comicsgate. Dude, Nine Inch Nails was more mainstream. I would say he's more like, hmm, I'm trying to think of a real good independent, like low level band. Hmm. Yeah, Timothy, I'm actually
Mhm.
excited. I want to get the books that he's doing because I want to see how good his writing is. Because with independent books, the way I judge them is like if I see the creator, like I talk to him on streams and stuff like that, or in chat, you could get a gist of how the writing will go, whether it's going to be decent or not.
Yeah. Actually, that's something I got to do to probably tonight or tomorrow. Actually, Dillard put me in a group, a DM group, to be one of the people going through the books, reading it over, seeing any mistakes or whatever. Believe it or not, that's crap. Whack,
I
you
would,
know.
yeah, I get what you're saying, but I would say he's like the drummer of garbage. He's not just responsible for his band being successful, but he's responsible for other bands being successful. Like if you like Nirvana, their first two albums, he produced them. But I get what you mean now that you're saying that, because Trent Reznor was Nine Inch Nails. What Without him, there was no Nine Inch Nails. What were you saying, Rick? I'm sorry. I'm over here having a conversation with Timothy in the chat.
Oh no, I was just saying that Dillard's put up a group on Twitter for people that for editing the book, for dialogue and all that.
Hmm.
And I'm actually in that group.
Oh, you're one of his editors.
I'm not sure whether I'm one of his editors, but he put a bunch of people to read over the pages. He put like 7 pages
No,
up
I
at a time.
I want the complete copy. That's
Yeah,
an honor that he would do that for you, but
yeah.
I want the complete
Oh,
work.
oh yeah. I'm going to end up with the complete work digitally that way, technically. But my point is more. I've even ordered it, so I'm going to get it that way as well. A physical copy. my point is just two more. I'm getting it before. I guess I'm getting it all before someone else.
Yeah, don't spoil it for me, Rick. Don't spoil it for me.
No,
It's
no,
it's
no.
one of the only books. No, you don't rephrase that. It is the only book I'm actually kind of anticipating. Like the other books, I'm like, they come in when they come in. But the the Buckler, I'm kind of like, Like ever since I read that Ashcan, I'm like, I'm a bit interested now.
No, that's cool.
In fact, I can't find the copy of your book with his cover on it, and it's driving me crazy. I know it's in my room somewhere, but I have so much stuff in my room that it's like, where did I leave that book?
Hello, Elric. How are you?
What's up, Elric?
But,
Hello, Elric.
well, I still have more copies of that if you want.
I like that, Timothy. Rick is more part of a control group. He's one of those. What do they call them, Timothy? Those that they have like they bring in to test out a product to see if the public will like it. I can't remember what they call
Uh, Melvin 2 is being drawn by
it. Vic
Vic King.
King.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
I think I have Vic King on Twitter.
you've seen pages from number 2. You know, Canadian Shield number 2 is.
It's me, my sketchbook, Eric,
And me.
and Linda.
King's Kid.
Yep.
Linda King's Kid. Oh, now nobody can see what I'm showing.
Rick's mom.
A blind study, says Timothy. But yeah, and as you can, well, you've seen that a bunch of pages here.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I see all these videos, like these people that complain about, like, oh, manga is overtaking this and that. I'm like, yes, it's overtaking mainstream comics. Get on Twitter, read my Twitter timeline, look at Dillard's work, look at these other books that I've already backed. Look at the work of Brian Shearer. You know,
Uh,
hey, Ulrich. Yeah, look at Elliot from the Jerkmonger channel.
Eric Munitowski.
Yeah, I like Eric because Eric's work reminds me of 90s nostalgia. Eric, I would like to see Eric and Malin go toe to toe on a draw off because they're so similar, just to see which one comes out on top.
Yeah. Well, the great thing is, well, not with that. I do actually. I have something that probably most people know of.
Hold on. I don't know if I have Timothy on Twitter. I think I do. I'm not sure. Hold on. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's quiet all of a sudden.
Oh, I'm looking for Timothy's
Let me see.
Twitter. I see that Dillard has commissions open. That's new.
Yeah, he's trying to. He gave Timothy a discount. That looks awesome.
Timothy, drop a link to your Twitter. I don't think I have you on Twitter.
that's my artist, Ulrich. Um, let's see. Yeah, put some stuff back.
Are you gonna
Oh,
make the background nighttime on the bottom panel as well?
no, because that's the bottom one is supposed to be during the daytime. It's like the next day. I just noticed
I'm
that.
sorry, it kind of hurts my eyes because it goes dark, 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 and it's all in sequence, and then bam, light.
Yeah.
Don't zoom in, Rick. That's making it worse. Oh, look, I wasn't following. There, I'm following you, and I have notifications. I think I ordered the first one only the digital copy. Tim,
Yeah.
Timothy.
Oh yeah, Timothy. I might have it on my computer. I might have found it. But when you sent it to me that time, you only sent like the title page of Melvin the second time or whatever. You know what I mean when I asked about it. Well, I'll have to check to see whether I have the whole thing on my computer. I think I might have found it. Uh, well, let's see. Store. But yeah, once I get some pages, or once I know I'm fairly close to uh, getting everything ready for the campaign, people are going to be. I did a fan art get few months ago. I had Eric Ninotowski on his fan art Fridays do the Canadian Shield, and I colored it, and I got his permission to be able to use it as a giveaway, as a trading card. So that's going to be on my campaign. Anybody who signs up for the pre-launch is going to get that trading card with the Canadian Shield on, done by Eric Nanakowski, colored by me. What were you asking? Who drew Elric? The page that I'm on, or something else? Put my camera on. Doo-doo-doo. Damn mouse likes to fall all the time.
Jason is streaming.
Yeah, and Metal should be streaming soon too, with it being 9 o'clock.
Was asking who drew the page you showed.
Uh, the one in
Oh, okay, correct.
you're talking about the one that was in Clip Studio, Ulrich. That was uh my artist for Canadian Shield number 2, Ephraim Crespo.
Is this Melvin too? Uh, Timothy. These photos I'm looking at. Oh, Melvin. Yeah, they look good.
Sherwin is drawing Melvin. And Vic is drawing Melvin too. So, yeah, let me show this off again. So, yeah, this is the card that they're going to get. And I'm actually going to be trying to have a power set thing on the back. Why does this character not have a head? What character?
I like the Melvin half a lot too. I actually like that rendering. The other ones look like they're gonna be rendered in the color. So, but yeah, they look really good, man. Good on you. Oh yeah, Eric Linatowski's work.
Yeah.
A la 1990 something, right? He even does the hash marks, the like the old 90s, like even in his shadows.
Ulrich says, I remember that card cross. I want two of them. I argue that this pick should be the cover. Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't want to mislead people, and he's not going to be. The fight in number 2 is not going to leave him the suit torn like this. So, just the fact that you're getting a card like this is, going to be unique. Because I can't see him getting in a battle yet. You're not going to have him in a battle till probably 2 or 3 years in the comics that's going to tear this apart. And it'll probably be a battle in which most likely he's with the rest of the group of characters that I have. That's not a request. Curse you. Curse you. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to set up like strength level and intelligence level and all that for the back of this card. I'm working on all that for this.
Elric is demanding it now. Says that's not a request, Rick.
Yeah, I read that.
You can't be like Kevin Smith. You got to give the fans what they want.
Yeah, well, I did tell Eric this was for that and a giveaway. So, and that's why he's been gracious enough to let me use this, have this for free for the art for that. So I don't. In doing more, I might have to pay. If people want more than one, I would think I could always have it pay. But then again, maybe I'll just have an add-on for like $1, just printing cost or something like that. Still waiting for the Canadian Shield video game where he throws trees into space to destroy asteroids. 2 or 3 years real time or in the history or in the story will I, because I want action. Oh, there will be action there's action in this one, Rick.
Wouldn't that just be Missile Command, Timothy Olsen? Because you said Atari graphics, wouldn't it just be Missile Command? Like, instead of missiles, those are trees being thrown by the Canadian Shield?
Like, let's see, F1.
Wait, Timothy, do you even know what Missile Command is? I know Rick does.
Let's see, we'll open. Yes, CS style, he says. We do have some a little bit of action here, as you see. Elric, he's rushing over to the building. He's entering it. He encounters the villain of the book. Although he doesn't know he's a villain at the moment. He confronts him. The villain really doesn't want him there. Aims his gun. Shoots. And yeah, he hasn't beat him up. He doesn't really beat him up, but,
That's Toxical, right?
yeah. And, then Toxico's running away.
Has he finished the entire book, Rick, or
No,
you
he
still
had.
waiting for page 10?
I'm still waiting for. He had page 10 pretty much done. I gave him some editing notes. There was something wrong in the way that I couldn't put my finger on it with the look of Messenger in the panels that he did for page 10. And now he's redrawing page 10 completely. And it's like, that was a couple weeks ago he said that. So it's like, I actually got to get on him, see what's going on with page 10. I want page 10 so I can color it.
When he's drawing this for you, does he give a full rendering and then you give edit notes, or does he give you just a rough sketch of what he's doing?
I think he gives pretty much a full rendering. I gives I give some notes. Usually it's some minor changes, like it's him getting the.
Timothy's writing the whole encounter in the chat between Toxico and Canadian Shield. That's what we need to do. Once you get this issue out, we'll read both issues. We'll do a Canadian Shield read night. Each person will read a character.
Oh yeah, he fights Toxico in this one. And then he kindly asks him to surrender. Toxico says, "No, thank you, friend." Then Canadian Shield replies, "Not your friend, pal." Well, I'm not your pal, buddy. Friend. I'm not your buddy friend.
It's just gonna keep going on and on.
But, yeah, this is, that's about the only thing I wish. I've pretty much got all the money. I need probably another $200 or just under $200. I've got almost all the money saved up for both books to pay him.
And then you got to save up for the printing and everything.
Well, I'm crowdfunding the printing, so.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, my bad. I forget about this crowdfunding thing. Not that episode, Timothy. I stopped watching South Park a long time ago. I've only watched episodes here and there.
But yeah, it's gonna be. I think this one, obviously, just with this, as you look at this one is looking so much better than the first, in my opinion. The drawing, the coloring. No offense against Pope Raven.
Oh, that's a good thing. Why?
Yeah,
Hope Raven colored your first one?
yeah, and I did a few tweaks on it.
I wonder where Hope Raven is. Hey, we had 7 watching. We have somebody that comes in and out, in and out.
Yeah, but yeah, it's. I like some of the techniques I'm learning. You know,
Yes, Elric, make that happen. Make that a thing. You you did a Kevin Smith, or you Kevin Smith.
I have a verb for one who faults, advertises a franchise or series. It's called "Don't Be a Kevin Smith." But yeah, this.
Well, wait, that's actually from South Park. Don't be a Kevin Smith, Timothy. Or are you talking about something else? Because if that's true, I gotta watch that episode. I gotta look it up.
You know what? I need to put some more glowing on this. I see stuff that I want to do.
Oh, is that the? Yeah, that's the page with the fire guys, the firefighters.
Yeah, Dillard and a mysterious firefighter. Just some random name.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna look that episode up anyway. The Canadian puberty.
Oh well, you know what, guys? I am done. I've been done my drawing for a while, and we are actually having a good time talking. But we're about 20 minutes over, so I think I am going to end. Hopefully, everybody will.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was reading Timothy's one of Timothy's comments.
Yeah,
His new name for Kevin Smith.
come on, kick the baby wuss. So hopefully, everybody,
Oh,
go ahead, Mom.
I was going to say, hope to see you next week, and God bless, and good
Well,
night.
Well, we are. I am on Odyssey on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
well, I'm not quite on Odyssey.
wait. It doesn't mean you can't come on the panel, Mom, if you want. So you can still see anybody that comes on the panel.
Yeah,
Uh,
true.
um,
I'm so used to getting on YouTube or Rumble,
yeah,
I forget about the other ones.
yeah. So yeah, maybe. And if you guys want to follow me on Rumble, I think both links are in my description for my channel on Rumble and on Odyssey. Um, so yeah, go over there, check me out, follow me. I'm pretty up to like what 23 followers on Rumble. I'm slowly growing over there with just putting videos up daily.
Yeah, I need to watch more Rumble. I haven't since I haven't been at work. I used to watch Rumble on my phone all the time, but I don't really watch it. Um, they don't have a TV app or nothing like that. I wish they did.
They have one for the Roku.
For Roku, oh, if they have a Roku app, I might be able to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we have
got.
it on Roku.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna look into that. Yeah,
So
this was fun. I got to do this again with you.
yeah, anytime. You're always welcome. And if I start using Discord, it's easy for you to pop. Oh, I think it's easy for you to pop in that way too. You're an
Yeah,
A-list.
it won't throw us out.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll catch you all later. So bye for now. God bless. Love you all. Have a great
All
and
right.